What up, everyone? Welcome to a Love Like That podcast. I'm Brandon.
I'm Jacqueline.
You
Y'all heard it was a little.
That you trying to hold it like Arsenio Hall?
I was trying something new.
That's cool. Look, I dated myself talking about Arsenio Hall. No one knows about the Arsenio Hall show. These young kids don't know.
Yeah, anyway. Listen.
Look
them up.
Yeah, look them up. It's dope. All right, well, she's Jacqueline.
Yes.
And this is a Love Like That podcast.
Yes.
We are here for another episode here today.
Another exciting episode.
Another exciting episode. And today is a special day. It's a special day of this recording here because today marks 25 years since the day we met.
Oh. Wow.
That was many moons ago.
Come on now.
Many moons
ago.
So
a lot of transition, a lot of growth.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Wow.
Take us back, babe, because that's the thing about it. Like I always, Brandon is the date keeper in our relationship. So time goes. And it's like, I didn't know it was 25 years until we were talking about it, maybe about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
But wow.
Yeah.
That's a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
Babe,
so
a 25
quarter years of knowing you.
Of knowing you. Century of knowing you. Since the day we met. Since our paths crossed.
Yeah.
Come on, take us back, babe. Take us back. We rely on his memory as well, guys.
So, I mean, it's how it goes. There was a certain young lady who...
I remember.
Actually, no, it wasn't you.
Before
it was a certain young lady who I was friends with.
Okay.
Named Nikki, and we were good friends.
Correct.
Look, she got. Wait a minute, it wasn't me.
Right. But before that, I had to. There was a process before that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting ready to get to that. Yeah. So, Jackie and I met at our church. So we had a youth group that we were part of.
Yes.
And there was a young lady by the name of Nikki, and she and I were good friends. Yeah, shout out to Nikki. And we were good friends. And she was like, Brandon, there's a girl who thinks that you're cute. Do you know Jackie? And so she said the name Jackie, and I just went, who? Who? Because I knew everybody. I thought I knew everybody there, but clearly I didn't because I didn't know.
Well, you didn't know everybody. Absolutely.
I didn't know Jacqueline.
Like
So I did not know Jacqueline at the time.
Ooh.
So she's like, yeah. She thinks, you should talk to her. She thinks you're cute. I just know this. Just trust me. I know that she thinks that you're cute. So, of course, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, who doesn't? But, I said, okay,
you are cute.
yeah, thank you. I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to go out with someone just because they like you. It's like, okay, it has to be something else. Or because they think that you're cute. You may not have liked me, but you thought I was cute. I was like, just because of that. So I said, okay, well,
come on, y'all. Even at a young age, he wasn't. It had to be more.
As a teenager, I thought about it a little bit differently.
He did.
So, I think that went on for like about a week. She's like, did you talk to her? I was like, no, I just haven't gotten around to it. I wasn't, I saw her. She's cute, right? But I just hadn't gotten to the point to just step in. I was trying to observe her. That's really what it was. And so I would see her around or whatever. And then another week passed, and Nikki was like, you should go talk to her. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like, and of course, just wouldn't get to it. I don't know why, but clearly I just
It wasn't at the time.
wasn't the right time, I guess. So on 1 October, day before Halloween afternoon, I don't know where we were going. There was something that was going on. So I think, yeah, I think Halloween was like on a Monday that year or whatever it was. It had to be.
Was it the
And so the youth group, they had us go to like that church, whatever they had, like that
the hay
that
and the
whatever it was, and they had
the
like this
visual of,
like the play or whatever it is.
I
Exactly.
remember. I'm telling you, I remember standing in line, like
Mm-hmm.
having your jacket, and you go to all
Yeah.
of these different. That's
Yeah,
what
it was this church that they were trying to do. Yeah,
babe.
it was. It was this church that was trying to talk about, they were trying to make scary stories out of not repenting for your sins. It was supposed to be like
Oh.
scary,
Oh,
since it was
yeah.
Halloween related.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so we everybody, all the kids got on the bus and we went to the thing.
We did.
And she got on the bus. She sat with, I think you were sitting with Latoya, I think.
Probably.
And
That was my girl.
Latoya was
Nikki
Nikki's
and
sisters.
Latoya.
They were sisters. So you sat with Latoya, and I sat with her. I don't even remember who. And went to the thing, and that was that. And then on the way back, I said, you know what? Let me see if I can actually, introduce myself to her. Let me see what this is about. So I don't know how I made this work. I don't know if I asked Latoya to let me sit there or whatever, or whatever. I think I just sat down. I got there early, yeah, because you were sitting down already, and I saw that the space was open, and then I decided to sit down. That's what it was. I decided to sit down, and then later on, when Latoya came, I think I said, "Hey, can I? Is it okay if I sit there?" She's like, "Yeah, fine," because I think she knew.
She was in on it too.
Yeah. So I came up to you and I said, "Is it okay if I sit down?" And the look on the look on her face was, it was like, "Yeah, sure," but she was shocked that I actually did it.
Right.
So,
You say things.
you know.
I didn't know a whole plan was in motion.
Yeah, I was feeling myself. I felt like I was like this super guys coming down to talk to this young lady who had been eyeing me, and I was gonna make all her dreams come true.
Come
And all
on,
this.
and he has, and he has.
But we sat down and we taught the most simple conversation that a teenager could have. Hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Where do what's your parents' names? You got any brothers, sisters? Where do you live? Where were you born?
Right.
Whatever. You like Drew Hill or whatever.
Come on, that was our group.
you just like whatever.
Just trying to get to know.
You're just
each
trying
other.
to figure out just
This was
what
before
into.
social media. We didn't have.
Yeah,
we couldn't go and
link in
go-
my bio.
Exactly.
Right, to know what I
Read
like.
up, right. We were trying to.
Figure it
know
out.
each
Fill each other out, and that was cool.
That was, babe.
So we sat and talked, and sat down with each other the entire trip back, and after that we exchanged numbers. I remember you wrote your number down on this paper, and I wish I still had the paper. I'm not like your parents. Your mama hold on to stuff, and she got doggone
She had
numbers
the
and everything
paper.
from when she met your dad. I'm like, good grief. I was like, you just artifact queen.
That's right.
But yeah, I remember you wrote down your number, and I think I gave you my number. Yeah, I had to. Yeah, and that was that. I said, okay, well, I'll talk to you later, and that was really that. And I believe the next day I called her, so it had to be like on Halloween. So Halloween I called you, and so yeah, and look at what
That
has
is
transpired since then.
Where it's began. Look at what has transpired.
So
25 years. That's a lot. 13.
yeah.
We're telling our age here, guys.
Yeah, she telling her age. I ain't telling my age.
Yeah.
Just play.
That's it. 25
Right,
years.
25
we'll leave it
years,
At that.
Hey, listen, it was.
Google me.
But no, I look at it like this though. 25 years later, to be married to have these wonderful children that
Come
we
on.
have, and to have
Yes.
the blessing of just our
Yes,
home and
yes.
everything that we built and that we were building.
Yes.
You know, God knew what needed to happen. So
He knew God's plan.
I thank God for the opportunity. I thank God
Yes.
that I chose to take on the opportunity.
Yes.
Because
You
God will tell you
chose,
stuff, but
babe.
it's up
You
to you to
definitely
actually act on
chose.
it. You know,
Yes,
that's what
yes,
you have to act
yes.
on it. So I'm glad I decided to act on it
Yes.
as a youngster, and we're here. So cheers
We
to
are
us, babe.
here. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Yes,
Whoa.
right. It was a good. Mm,
And that's crazy
that was
because
good.
it's only a little bit. But anyways, cheers, babe, because since that moment, it just has been a story in motion, just through just high school and,
College,
coming
everything
and
else.
taking me to the prom and college and wherever I was, like when I was at Fort Valley State, you came to visit me. When I was at Albany State, you came to visit me.
Sure did.
And we weren't like straight together through these times.
Right throughout, yeah.
Like
We definitely
we
had
had
tons of breakups.
very like long kind of breakups and not a like, oh, okay, well, I'll catch you in a few, but it really is God's plan because through it all, through just trying to figure everything out, all roads led back to you.
Yeah.
All roads, just led back to just God. God really has it all created.
Yeah.
Our destiny is already carved out for us. So while we're trying to set things up or figure things out, it's already mapped out. So
Yeah.
all roads led back to this moment, these moments. So we definitely I don't take it for granted. Any moment I get with you, babe, I'm always privileged to sit across from you and share this space. So
Thank you, babe. I
love you,
appreciate it.
babe.
Love you.
This has been such a joyous ride. It really has. It really has. So thank you, babe, just choosing, because I know it hasn't always been an easy journey.
But you know what though?
There have been
It's been plenty of stuff, but you know what though? The good has outweighed anything that could be considered bad. The good has outweighed so much because there's been a lot. Not because just the good is just so good, but because the good has been a lot. It's been a lot of good.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of good.
A lot of good. Thank you.
And that's the thing that helps out with that though.
So we are blessed. We definitely are blessed. And so that is why we continue to move forward, to share the mission and movement just of what the covenant can provide just in marriage. Just really keeping God in the center of your marriage and doing what you can do on a daily basis to be the best husband, wife, person that you can be. Just how can I be in service to another person?
Yeah. And also but you know what though? I know they're
and
like
loving that. I mean, it sounds like the life of a servant, but when I tell you I am, it really
service to each other.
It's service to each other because it really is reciprocal. It really is someone pouring into you. Just as much or more. It really isn't. We're keeping tabs. It's just consistent flow. And that's what we stay in. We try our best to stay in. We try our best.
And you know what? And so which leads me to this. I know everybody's sitting here like, oh my gosh, these guys are they're just so in love. Okay, right? Like here's what it is. We were able to get together, and the sparks fly and all that other stuff. Everything is super duper spectacular, right? Then you get to the part where you get settled. When the marriage, you get settled. It's we're here now.
Yeah.
And this is every day.
Yeah.
This isn't the whole I see you maybe like once or twice a week,
Yeah.
whatever, and I'm excited to see you. So I want to make everything the best, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the case is. It's I see you every day,
Right.
and it's every day,
Every
right?
day.
Every
Every
day.
day.
So what you're seeing is us learning how to navigate and move through that everyday consistency, and how we have learned to be to to what's the word I'm looking for? How to recognize the blessings in the consistency, in this,
Yes.
in the stability,
Yes.
in the what is the everyday.
Yes.
And once you understand that, once you know how to be comfortable in the calmness of a marriage, that's where you see the real blessing. It's not all the we went out and like we do our date nights. We do make sure that we
Yes.
have fun.
Consistently.
But
Oh yeah.
the,
Absolutely.
the sparks are only there at sparks are always going to be there, but they're not the big sparks that you remember when you first got together, when you first connected or first got married, because everything is brand new.
Yeah.
Well, this is not brand new now. This is something that
Right.
we know every day.
Yes.
But we have learned how to work and how to be comfortable, or learn how to operate properly within the calmness of
Yes.
consistency,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
stability,
Yes.
which allows us to flow
Right.
properly.
Right.
Sometimes, there might be men that say, she don't do this no more, or the women are like, oh, he don't do that no more, or whatever the case is. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing for your spouse. You do want to, but at the same time, though, understand though that there are different levels to marriage and to relationships.
Yeah.
That are required. And so for us to get to this point, we had to learn how to be comfortable in each other, comfortable in our fun,
Yes.
comfortable in our silence.
Yes.
Because there are times, I know when we first got married, you're like, okay, this is great, but then at the same time, though, he's
Right.
real quiet, like,
Exactly. What's going on with him?
and it throws you off because you don't understand. But once you understand a person, you allow them to be themselves, and then you
Yes.
can know how to coexist and how to operate.
Yeah.
And then there becomes the harmonious flow that you're looking for.
Right.
And so there is power in the calmness.
Yes, there's power in the calmness and in the
And it leads you to have more opportunities for more fun when you do, because you know how to be both and not just one way.
Right, exactly. And in the calmness, and as you said, like the consistency, there's power in partnership, period. So that consistent person who is coming home, that consistent, yeah, sometimes it may seem monotonous, but just kind of it really depends on your mindset and where you're at, because you have this person who is coming home. And two heads are always better than one. So if we focus on this, then what can we accomplish? If we come together to do this, then what can we accomplish? If we're doing any task, two versus one is going to yield a better result if we're learning to flow and to work in sync.
Yes.
Like regardless of what it is. And so in that,
We both know
there's
the goal.
power. Right. Okay. Yes. So we are now each day making a deposit into, let's just say if we're trying to move a car forward, and I'm trying to do it on my own, right? Every day a year. And I'm only able to move it an inch. But if we're saying, hey, all right, well, this is the game plan. Let's strategize. Okay, this is what we did yesterday. And we were only able to move it 3 inches. But if we do this, like talking and learning through it, then you see that the task is always accomplished in much better time.
Yeah.
So really just kind of actually understanding what it is that you have in front of you, and not taking that for granted, and making the deposits into it to make sure that you want to,
Right.
flow with that
And the
person, that
deposits,
you want
yeah.
to talk to that person, that you want to be in that space. Like, hey, those love deposits, because that's what constantly is feeding each other.
Yeah, and
Just
those
those
deposits that she's
deposits.
talking about are finding ways of just doing something subtle, something nice for the other person.
Yeah.
Or breaking up the monotony of it though.
Yeah.
So for my wife, we are comfortable in the calmness of each other, but at the same time though, I know my wife, she will get cabin fever. She need to get the heck up out the house. So
Take her on a
So I
drive.
got to take her as if it's a day trip, if it's a date night or something, at least once a week, we're doing something. I know that much, and it helps to break it up, which helps it to where you can
Absolutely.
do that.
And it's different levels to that too. Sometimes it really just, I remember around Christmas last year, how many times did we just ride through the neighborhood and look at the Christmas lights? And it really just kind of be a break in the schedule. Or we have like, we've done a date in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like if we were pressed and we had to pick up the kids, it's really like, hey, you know what can we do? Like, and we'll be in and out in record time.
Yeah.
Like, it just is that intentional time that's just us. Before it was anything else, before we did anything else, it was just us. So making sure that we are always watering the foundation.
And sometimes it's just about having stress relievers.
Absolutely. That may be it too.
Just saying.
I mean,
sometimes you just need to have
you better know your spouse
release
and
some
know
stress.
what it is. Exactly. Find your stress
That will do it too.
relievers. Yes.
Sometimes that can do it. That can do it as well.
That can do it too. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
either way, but find something. So while I am talking about understanding, know how to be comfortable in the calmness of a relationship.
Yeah.
So that because sometimes that's what happens with people. People don't know how to be calm in a relationship, and they think that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
It's just the relationship is settling. It's getting, it's cementing itself as far as what the foundation is.
Exactly.
But so you need to have that. But at the same time, though, make sure that you are finding a way to break up the monotony.
Right. And that doesn't stop just because you're
which
settling.
encourages you to be able to sit still in it a little bit longer, because you do have those moments where you can have those moments of interaction, of intimacy, of quality time.
Absolutely. Just where you sit and you are still and you just absorb in everything that is, everything that's around you, and just kind of take that in. So definitely. But that doesn't stop you from, hey, like we're your mind is always working. We're planning for the future.
Exactly.
What is it that I can do to really like he said, just put a smile on my husband's face today. And it may be simple. Like, I know my husband loves Twix and Kit Kats. Twix, Kit Kats.
I'm not big on candy like that, but I will do those.
Right,
I will do those. It will be those.
And so even if I'm in the store line, whatever it is, and I get the Twix and put it on his
my
nightstand.
day is made.
It's just, I thought of you, boom, boom, like whatever it is, just intentional thoughts about the other person. So just
very true.
Doing a little bit more. Just kind of, as I say, turning off the autopilot and really just kind of getting that brand new day, from the beginning, not the beginning of the whiz, but the end of the whiz, like coming out of our old selves and like really taking in the moment in the day and doing what we need to do.
Yeah, it helps you to move forward.
To move forward.
And that's really
what
what
it's
it
about.
is. That's really
moving forward.
Exactly. And that's part of that, though. So it's, so mine's is Twix, hers are date nights.
Yes. Right.
All right.
They're a little bit different.
But
however, there are other things like that you could just bring,
Oh, yeah. Well, there are other things as well. I'm not saying that that's the only thing for you, whatever the case. So, yeah, don't get it twisted. That's not the only thing that she's about. But
but I do love a date night now.
And, so know what your rate is, or what the amount is. For some people, it's once a week, that's our thing. Once a week, go out. Some people, you're cool once a month, or however it may be.
Once a quarter.
However it may be, once a quarter. So
you just got to make sure both people are comfortable with it. It doesn't matter what the
they're not comfortable with it, that they're willing to do it.
That's what I mean. Okay, both people are willing to do it, but I'm just saying if you're saying I'm only taking you on a date once a year, that's all I got for you. And, I'm thinking like once a month, that's that's what I mean comfortable with. So if you're settling and I'm just going to take what he gives me in terms of the once a year because of AB, that's what I mean comfortable with, like really comfortable with.
Okay.
Let's find an actual compromise that both people, so yes, you may have to stretch from your once a year to say like 6 months. So that's a stretch for you.
Right.
And I may have to stretch to the 6 month too. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying you're over like the moon happy about, but okay, you know what? In my heart of hearts, like I can be comfortable with that. That's what I mean. by being comfortable
Understood.
with. But yes, just being willing to be a willing participant in terms of hearing what your spouse is saying or your partner is saying, and actually like, oh, okay, let me make a mental note of that, and now let me try to work that into life as I'm moving forward, is a willingness. So yeah, no, of course, I think you have to have both, but
Yeah.
just, I just feel like a lot of people don't really say everything that they need to say. And so I think like with that, like you're saying some things, but if you're not really kind of saying everything that needs to be said, then I think as time goes on, and the other person may not be aware of A, B, and C, and your actions continue as time goes on, and I haven't said anything, I think that breeds resentment, over time, and then it's kind of,
Yeah.
too much has transpired since then. So I am an advocate in just
Speaking your mind.
speaking your mind, saying what you need to say, and it doesn't. Even if you're like, hey, every time I speak, maybe I'm a little, maybe my tone comes off A, B, and C. Then write it down. I have told many people.
You're transitioning to the next topic so well. I mean, I don't even have to go
To
into it now.
write it down, but write a note. Like if hey, every time that my tone is coming off, or I can't seem to work on my facial expressions or whatever it is, write it down. But make sure that your partner knows like where we're at. Like
Yeah.
we need to know, if we're a team, where we're at all times.
And
really.
it's about having peace in a home, or more harmony in a home, but also having peace in your mind. Because if you're holding on to that stuff,
Yeah.
that you're having a war within yourself, because you're having to eat
Yeah.
that bitterness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole problem. So I think that's where, I asked the question, it's like, why do people hold on to stuff? Why don't they just say what's going on? But then I have to remember, that was me. That was me at certain points in times. I think before we got married, once we got married, or right around the time that we decided that we were going to be married, I think I had worked all that out.
Yeah.
But I always said, because sometimes people don't want to voice their opinion because they don't want to rock the boat. They want to avoid the conflict. They want to avoid having those tough conversations because it's uncomfortable. No one wants to have
Of course.
those conversations.
Yeah.
But then also because you don't want to offend the person, or or what have you, or you don't want to anger them, or because it might be a negative consequence. So like, I know for you, oh my gosh, I just wanted to make you happy so much. I always wanted you to be happy. Like when we were dating, like I always want you to be happy. And sometimes when you get into your little bratty moments, and I was like, oh my gosh, I said, ooh, and I would shut up. I would, because I was like, you know what, I don't want to anger her. I don't want to have that interaction, because I just want her to be happy and whatever. So I would just sit here.
Right. Suck
And
it up.
because I was like, well, I don't want to lose her, because I want her to be happy. The moment that she's not happy, she's gonna run. And so I think that was something where I had to have an internal conflict within myself. And then we got to a point where I was like, no, bump that. Like, I don't even care at this point. Like, you want to go? Just go. I'm going to be happy over here, okay? That's what it was for me.
Yeah.
But I think you knew that, and because I finally was able to really say what I needed to say to you, I think you respected that more.
Okay.
And we were able to actually come
Right.
together and do it the right way.
We were.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think, I was, so speaking your mind is a form of self-respect.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Say what you need to say is a form of self-respect.
Yes.
So it's not about disrespecting the other person, but
Right.
it is about respecting yourself.
Right.
Now, that does not mean that you have to say everything that's on your mind. That's going to whatever.
Correct,
Because then
correct.
that is disrespectful.
Right.
You have
right.
to be able to
and
understand.
there should be a filtration system. Like,
Yeah, you have to
literally,
filter,
there are
yeah.
some things that maybe you need to take some deep breaths of.
But the essentials you have to
figure out,
say.
right, in terms of like, where are you coming from with that? Are you coming from a petty, pocket? Or am I coming from a loving, like, really analyzing, like, okay, what's really behind that.
Yeah.
The essential things that are essential to the way I feel. This is the way you made me feel.
Yeah.
You know, like we can't move past things if we aren't willing to put them out on the table.
Yeah, to address them, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
we can't move past them if we're not willing. So it's not every little thing that, everything that comes to my mind I'm going to say, but the essential things that need to be said, and yes, they may be uncomfortable, but either way, it's going to move our relationship.
Yeah.
Period, point blank.
Question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot here. What was the most uncomfortable conversation that you had with me?
Oh my gosh. Let me see. Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Think about that one. Whoa, we're putting it all out there.
I mean, if you can think of one, there may not be one. I don't know.
Hold on, let's think. Let me think.
Take your time. Look, I'm throwing a commercial right here.
Yes, please do.
I'm throwing a commercial here while you think about it. All right, well, how did you? But I mean, how did you feel during that uncomfortable conversation?
Now I'm trying to think.
Okay, all right, you're
Let's
cool.
put up the clock.
Yeah, you're good.
Do, 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 do. Okay, I think I have to go to my space. Shh. See
All right, she's never been uncomfortable. Because if there's one thing, Jackie will speak her mind. So it's probably never been uncomfortable. That's why you can't think of it, because you never had an uncomfortable conversation. You've always been
I'm really trying to think.
She'll tell you what's up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Let's have this conversation, babe.
That's
What do you need to talk about? What do you need to get off your chest?
I'm really trying to think. There definitely was, but I honestly can't think of something that it comes to mind, because now in the beginning of our relationship, I feel like the amount of time I would stay mad and maybe just kind of be a little more
that used to sit.
Yeah, I would just sit, for a good... How long did I get up to, babe? What?
She'd be mad about a whole week about something.
Yeah, it would definitely be about a whole week. So that would probably be maybe the longest duration of hold it. But normally... Yeah.
Before she would want to actually start trying to make amends.
But
you're
gonna have to get this cold shoulder. You have to feel it. That's how I used to be. This is why I can.
That's what I used to do.
Because that was right. And so now it's not as uncomfortable if it's kind of within the time span of, you already know what I'm kind of talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
now it's about within 24 hours. 24 hours.
Oh yeah, definitely. We even had to have a conversation this morning, and it was
we sure did.
Because when I woke up, as I was moving through helping get the kids, I was thinking in my head, and I just was getting upset.
Right.
And so funny, I was looking out the window, watching for him to kind of come back, but I was thinking maybe he left and went straight out. But I'm like, if he comes back, I'm going to have this combo, because I was just going to call you and be like,
I find it funny. When a woman tells you that, you can just cancel the day. Cancel the day.
But he came back, and it was really just kind of a, babe, what happened last night?
Right, exactly. Because we were supposed to celebrate our the 25th anniversary of us meeting, and we had all intentions. I had all intentions, and then so many things happened that it did not happen.
Right, it was just on both it
didn't happen.
But where I was asleep,
kids, and then she fell asleep, and then I was downstairs.
I was only taking a nap because I was trying to prepare, And
in my head, I'm like, when she goes to sleep, she sleep, but she's like, still we could have whatever. And I said, you know what, babe? Okay, I could have worked it out differently.
But I was kind of looking forward and anticipating, because
I made up for it this morning.
That That is the part. That was the part. Like, but in the conversation,
And all is well.
in the conversation, it just was what happened because regardless of what's what, I just have, it's like festers. Like you feel that stuff in your body. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of what's what, you feel. So it's just kind of like, okay, you know what? These are moments, and I am a person like we try to capture every moment and dial into as many moments as we can. You know, like clearly we got to go, you know, it's whenever we can dial in, we try to dial in. And so it was just, hey, what happened? Just so we understand moving forward, like just how to navigate. And so even in that, like he, you know, we had a conversation, et cetera, et cetera. He stepped out the room. He came back in. It wasn't like, oh, we have to, it just was a meaningful
I came back with the music,
right,
champagne, the
5
mimosas,
minutes of just
a speech.
us recapping, really recapping what he did was recap that moment.
Yeah.
You know, Drew Hill was playing because that was
that was the song that was out during that time.
he walked up like, you know, it was October
1998.
1998. Drew Hill was, you know, whatever, just with the, he set the scene. And the moment from,
It was just you and I.
it was us, and it was before we really like decided like, hey, you know what? Let's make sure that we go down, you know, like let's go record. It was 5 minutes. Like, but when I tell you it was the most meaningful 5 minutes that he heard what I said, you know, and that I really did want to celebrate those because I don't take any moment for granted. So that's why I do get disappointed when I kind of miss things or, you know, if I fall asleep, you know, whatever the case is, because
to make sure that we can work it out. And
right. I don't like to miss my magical moments, but to take the opportunity to kind of snap out of it, to even be able to recreate it in that time frame of just, you know, it. If I really kind of stayed in that place that I was earlier and just not had that conversation with him,
it would have been the messiness all throughout the day.
yeah,
That's not what we need.
It really would have been.
Ladies, take note. Listen. When you see a man is trying,
yes,
be good with it. Okay.
Yes, and it was really, it was everything, and I really appreciated that, babe. That just shows me so much about you, and I appreciate it. It meant everything to me. But guys, that's just a real example of
having the conversation,
yeah,
speaking your mind,
yeah, just
hearing it out, moving forward.
Exactly. Boom, and we can go about our day and move.
And that takes practice because we're not saying that you're going to be perfect immediately doing it, especially if you've never exercised that muscle of really speaking your mind about certain things or knowing how to speak your mind the right way, because people can say what's on their mind, but they don't know how to say it.
Right, exactly.
How the
and then the
be able to
person
receive it.
If it's automatically kind of is like gasoline in a fire,
defensive or whatever. Yeah,
correct. Right.
So
it definitely takes some time, some skill, some like, hey, you keep exercising that muscle, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah, so. And that's two people right there. The person knowing how to speak to the other person, and then the other person being able to decipher and really break down what the other person is really trying to say if they're not able to say it the proper way.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to communicate so where there's no ambiguity about it, what's being said, but you want to say it in a way that everybody can, where it can be received in love instead of in defense.
Right. Exactly.
And so that's what it is. And so I think you've done a great job with that. I think early on that was maybe not so much. But
it wasn't. I had
and so but we were able to work through that.
Yes.
And I had to really use my emotional intelligence to really understand really where you were coming at, where you were coming from, and how to receive it certain ways. And we've worked through that together, not only just about you, but also about me and how I understood, how I received things as well. So. It's a team effort, but it's about being consistent in all things, and If it doesn't happen right the first time, it's not. Let's blow up the whole entire marriage. It's
Right.
Sit in that and
Let's
work
try
on it.
again. Let's change our approach. Let's sit. Let's sit in it.
Yeah.
And just
work on it.
Work on it. Right. Okay. Last time you got up and you left the room. Like, this time the goal is this. Like, chop it apart one little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's up to you guys. You guys are the ones who created the distance, the tension, the things that
You're
are
the only ones that can bring it back together.
So, exactly. You're the only ones who can do the work to undo that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's really important as well. This was a good conversation, babe.
This was.
Great conversation. I appreciate you.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you.
As always, thank you guys for watching us. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, all those different ones. Subscribe to our YouTube page.
All that.
YouTube.com
Subscribe.
/ at a love like that _ Follow us on Instagram at a love like that _ on Facebook at a love like that LLC. Sign up for the Marriage Bubble 5-day challenge that we have coming up for the next month and every month after that. And I don't think there's anything else that we need to talk about here as far as any other shameless plugs. I think we've got them all here.
I think we've got all the plugs, guys. I just say, like,
buy the book, The Marriage Bubble. Buy the book, The Marriage Bubble.
Wait a minute.
It's a great book. This is why I try to listen. $25 to save you from having to spend $20,000. $25 to improve your marriage can prevent you from having to spend $20,000 to end your marriage.
I'm telling you, y'all, it really is a lot of good stuff.
So, buy the Marriage Book Bubble, okay, written by yours truly.
Don't meet me in the bubble. Beat me to the bubble. Come on, guys. This could be you in the bubble.
I don't know what to do with this woman. I don't. I just.
What else can we say?
Look, I let her be great,
Share, guys.
Yes.
If you like it, then tell a friend, because we are very serious about moving the mission of marriage being a blessing, just positivity in marriage.
Yeah.
Being heavy on the happily married aspect, forward, doing what we need to do to partner with other couples who are passionate about that, and just moving and teaching others and spreading the message, guys. Love is all we need. So what if we could just shower the world with a blanket of love?
Wow, that was.
It's real. I see it in my head.
I didn't know. Babe.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could get to that level of corny.
I was going with me.
No, babe. No, listen. I'm with it. No, listen. Look. If you know me, you already know I'm with all that. So I'm all for that, though. I really.
We are the ones who can make a better place. So let's start giving.
You better know the lyrics. Yeah, you kind of butchered it, but you did 90% was right.
Okay,
10% not so much. But you got the good part though.
Yeah, I can't make up. I can't mess up a Michael song now.
Yeah, it's not around me. You can't. But anywho, I'm Brandon.
I'm Jacqueline.
This is the Love Like That podcast. Take care. Peace.
Peace.